All right, guys, today we're talking about why the universe tests you before your reality shifts and what you can do about it to pass the test. Now, I often hear people say that the minute that they get a desire, when they decide that they want something, all of a sudden the opposite happens. So if they want a new relationship, a career, changing their lifestyle, a new business, a better feeling state, whatever it is, the minute they make that decision, they feel like they are being tested by the universe. The exact opposite of what they want to happen shows up. Now, in today's video, I'm going to break down not only why this is happening, but I'm also going to explain to you why it's actually good for you and it's to your benefit if you know how to use it correctly. And I'm going to show you how you can pass these tests every single time so you can finally get the things that you want in your life. Hey guys, it's Aurora and welcome back to the channel where we talk about everything having to do with deep psychology, self-concept, and living the life of your dreams. If you're a professional, an entrepreneur, or a creative, and you're looking to take your life to the next level in 2024, definitely make sure you sign up for the waitlist on my 3-month transformational coaching program. Spots will be opening very soon for January, so if you want to make sure that you have a spot in the program, make sure you sign up now to secure that spot. So now I know that it can feel like the universe is testing you, right? This is you, this old version of you. And this is who you want to be, right? You want to have the money, the house, the relationship, the career, the passion project. You want to feel amazing. You want to be fulfilling your purpose, whatever it is. So you have these desires. And so what people are experiencing as tests from the universe, are actually experiences within this transition. And it's all happening within your own subconscious mind and your own perception. And I'll break that down in this video. And that's happening right here, between that shift of the old you to the new you. So before we really get into tests and how you can overcome them, how you can pass them every time so you can shift and have the life of your dreams, let's break down what is the difference between your current self and your ideal self. What's the difference between version X of you and version Y of you? So as we see, version X over here does not have anything that they desire, and version Y does have all of these things. So what is the main difference? Well, it comes down to two main things. The minute you desire something, you actually automatically create attachment. This version of you is very attached, and it also has fears related to the attachment. So the more you're going to be attached to something, the more you're going to fear anything that you perceive as getting in the way of you having that desire. So the main difference between version X of you and version Y of you are attachments and fears. And if you want to know about attachment and how you can reduce attachment, how attachment works, I made a video on that called How to Detach. I'm going to put the video on detachment up above and down below in the description. But I recommend you only check it out after this video because this video is very important. Now we know what is the difference between version X and version Y of your own self, so we can start asking, well, what is a test? Why do we experience this phenomenon of being tested, and what can we do about it? Person X has X circumstances. Person Y has Y circumstances, And person X also has X perceptions, beliefs, their self-concept, their emotions, all associated with who they're being, and person Y also has Y perceptions, all associated with who they're being, Y beliefs, Y self-concept, and Y emotions. Now, the circumstances are already in the past. There's really nothing you can do about circumstances. They are already in the past. They're a function of who you were being in the past. So we already know you can't just magically turn your X circumstances into Y circumstances. You have no control there. So what can you change? What can you control? Well, you can change your perception, right? That's the only variable you can change. And that's the whole point of manifesting and law of assumption and all of this deep self-concept work, guys, because that is the only variable you can change. But that's the only variable that most people will avoid, right? So the feeling of being tested is going to occur when you try to take your Y perception, right, being Y person, because you want Y circumstances, but you take that perception and you're trying to apply it on top of the current X circumstances and understand that that is the only way to make things change. But that's why you're experiencing this feeling of being tested. So like I said, the test occurs when you apply Y perception on X circumstance. What's going to happen? Well, you're going to feel a lot of dissonance, You're going to feel a lot of uncomfortable emotions. You're going to feel fear. You're going to feel low self-concept. You're going to feel a lot of doubt, a lot of attachment. It's normal. So let's talk about this dissonance as waves, So when you were being X person, that was one vibration, and you had X circumstances, and because everything was basically the status quo, it was moving together in harmony. Now, it wasn't preferred because it's not what you want, but it was harmonious. There was no need to challenge yourself emotionally, no need to challenge your views or your beliefs or your self-concept, because everything was running smoothly. Now that you decide to show up as Y perception on X reality, you're going to have a lot of dissonance, okay? You're gonna have a lot of clashing there. There's gonna be contrast there. And that is what feels uncomfortable. That is what feels like a test. Now, even though it feels that way, those uncomfortable emotions and that dissonance is here to help you become the person that you say you want to be so you can have the outcomes that you want in your life, okay? That's why we also say everything is working out to your benefit. Even if you can't understand that from your current perception, it is, okay? It's helping you to create a resolution, okay? To solve that dissonant feeling, to become the person that you're saying you want to be so you can have those outcomes. So what do we have as a choice in this situation when we're facing the test? How do you pass the test? Well, you can either resolve back down to your old perception, because that would create harmony again, that would satisfy the status quo, or you can hold your Y perception even though the reality is not matching it, and you can wait for your reality to resolve up to your new perception. And that's the only way to really break cycles. That's the only way to really step into your new identity and your new self-concept. And that's why really your circumstances don't matter, okay? Your circumstances don't matter. They seem so triggering. They seem very emotionally challenging. They feel like tests. The reality is that those circumstances are already in the past. They are a function of who you were being in the past. They are a result of your old perceptions and your old self-concept. So now, before I tell you exactly how to pass these tests every single time, I just want to point out that there are times you may not go through tests at all, and many people don't go through any tests at all. So when will you not go through tests? You won't go through tests when you aren't attached to the desire. It'll make it a lot easier. Number two, when you don't have a lot of fear in relation to the desire, you won't experience that feeling of being tested as strongly. So this is why a lot of people can't explain this phenomenon the way that I just broke it down for you, because a lot of people who are successful in the areas that you want to be successful never had to go through this process. They already had the beliefs and the self-concept that were aligned with the results that they have. And even if they didn't, a lot of people that didn't, they don't know how to break it down to explain what actually happened and what shifted within them to allow them to break through to that next level and to that cycle. What people have done in the physical realm to get certain results will not necessarily work for you, because this is an internal process. The external process is the reflection. The internal process is what's creating that external process. So just because somebody else didn't experience any struggles or any fear or any attachment, it doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong, because everyone is on their own journey of uncovering this. And that's also why when you're trying to test these principles out, testing out the law of assumption, testing out different methods and self-concept, you're definitely going to want to try and practice this not on the only desire that you have that is so important and you have so much attachment and so much fear related to it, but also test it on things that you're not very attached to that you would like or be a nice to have. Here is how you pass these tests every single time without fail. Number one, you have to understand what is happening. That's the whole point of this video, okay? If you just look at things on a tangible level, on a concrete level, you're going to have an extremely hard time breaking through to other levels. That's why my program is all about this. It's explaining these deeper psychological phenomenon. It's helping you break through the levels of your self-concept. It's helping you break through your fears, patterns, and limiting beliefs so that you can actually be that person, okay? Help you be that person. So you want to understand what is happening. So hopefully from this video, you do understand what is happening, and you want to keep that at the forefront of your mind when you're experiencing these tests, not seeing it as you versus the object, you versus the test, you versus the circumstance, but trying to understand it on a bit of a higher level so you can understand your part of this game, okay? Trying to get some space from it. The second thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to persist in those Y perceptions that we talked about, and persist in that Y self-concept even when things look to the opposite. And number three, you're going to want to lower your attachment and your fear level through varying techniques. You can see which techniques really work for you. That would be a whole other topic for another video. I hope you understand why you have that feeling of tests, that you can have them or not have them, and it's really a function of where you're finding yourself in your self-concept, where you're finding yourself in your emotions and your belief system. It's a function of your attachments, and it's also a function of your fears. I hope this video helped you. If you loved it, make sure you comment down below and let me know how it helped you, and I will see you guys in the next video.